It's not on the monitor. Hello and welcome to Designing with Casual Elegance. Today's show obviously looks like Christmas, and we're going to do Christmas villages. I have a special guest with me today, and my first male guest. This is Mr. Bill Koch, and we are going to do two different villages. Over here, I have ceramics from Department 56, and Bill is going to do Cody Foster. So would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself and the Cody Foster houses?
My name is Bill, and I have been doing these houses ever since I've been a little kid. My mom started setting up the village, and I've got pictures of her. Many of you may remember having these paper houses that you bought at the dime store as kids, and they were usually like 5 or 10 cents. Now, not all of mine are old. Well, they're about 20 years old at this point. But most of them go back to the 40s and the 50s and then the early 60s. So it's just been a tradition in my house to have them and put them up every year. So they're a little more simplistic than what you're going to see with the Susan.
Yeah.
But there's something nostalgic about them that I really like.
But I'll tell you what, if I ever liquidated and sold all of mine, I'd do Cody Foster's.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really know about them other than growing up, and then I thought they were gone.
Yeah.
But we sold them where I worked up in Kansas City.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is I am going to set up just a small portion of Department 56. And the way I start is with styrofoam. First of all, it looks like snow, but not only that, it hides a lot of your wires. And once we show a picture of my tree with villages underneath, you'll see what I'm talking about. But I will show you a way to kind of disguise these rough edges and how I'm going to try and hide my wires. So I start with the styrofoam, and then for each one of my houses, I have set it down on brown paper, put the name of it, and a little picture. So when I am starting my setup, I take out, I probably have about 50 houses. I take them all out, and I do 6 at a time because I do have strands of 6 lights. So I will position them under the tree, set my lights, and then each house, and position it just how I want it. So that is my first step. Really helps keep it organized, and we have built a platform. So I have holes in the platform to fish all of my wires down below. And then there's another thing you can do if you have like little street lights. You can take hairpins and cut them off and poke right into the styrofoam to keep those secure. You don't want them moving around once you have everything done. So here we go. I am going to start with our church. And we'll go right in the middle. Each one of these houses does have an individual light strand. And I am going to turn these on, but you probably really won't see that they're lit. Of course, we have to have a Christmas shop. Well, and people need to live here so that they can shop and make all of this worthwhile. Some of these are original Department 56 from 1985, and I have been doing Christmas Village, well, since that time. I actually stopped collecting a few years ago. This little guy has its own little battery pack, or if you're familiar with Department 56, They also have adapters that you plug into. I use a surge protector, and then it has long wires so that anything that has this type of a little box, you put your adapter right in, and then you can turn them on and off with your tree lights. I hook it all together. And have to have a Christmas tree lot. That guy doesn't get lit. Oh, when we want a little gazebo. And we have a few little people, these guys chopping firewood. And of course, at home, I have a lot more space. I actually set up villages in a buffet cabinet, above my kitchen cabinets, and under my tree. So my house gets full of Christmas. We'll put some. Can't be Christmas unless you have Santa Claus. Another trick, when you're using styrofoam, for these trees that are really lightweight, you can just hot glue tacks in, and you can do that for trees or anything that is going to be on styrofoam. Okay, and we have a new little family that's going to church. Oops, they're going home. They've been to the florist to get their poinsettias and all of their wonderful little things. Okay. Not sure what this looks like from the front, but I guess it's okay. And let's go over here. Oh. Chop down an extra one. Okay. Now, we'll take our blanket of snow. Some call it buffalo snow. Oh, you can tell that's been used. It's got some greenery in it. Do you do a lot of snow with your village?
Since I moved to Bella Vista, I don't have the space, so I put it up above in the kitchen on the kitchen cabinets, and then I've got some other shelves up there, and I did cut some of it to look like it was snow hanging down, but now if I had the village, yeah, I definitely have the snow around the houses.
Yes. I know I love to use this around all the edges, and I do have skating pond and,
Yeah.
well, you've seen the village.
Yeah. Susan's village is about the best village I've ever seen. I've been a lot of places over the years doing decorating homes for Christmas, but Susan's is it's the best I've ever seen. So.
Well, and I always laugh because I have to do squats for at least 2 weeks to loosen up my thighs to get under that tree.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the next day you'll pay for it. And then beyond the snow, and I didn't bring any because it would make a huge mess, the fresh fallen snow, which you'll see in plastic bags. And the best way to use that is to dump it into a brown bag, just a grocery bag, spray it with Static Guard, seal it up, and shake it, and it takes the static out so it doesn't stick all over everything. And we use quite a bit because we put it on the tree and on the village, so it definitely makes cleanup a lot easier. How are we doing? Okay. Now I do have a couple other little houses. Nice little one. I'm just going to set it out here. And it's fun to do different levels when you are doing your village. Okay, I'm falling apart over here. And I do think it is fun to decorate your table with garland, with bows, anything to make it festive. This would be so fun to use for your buffet table if you're having a party and everybody brings different goods. And I mean, let's face it, even if you tell them you don't have to bring an appetizer, they're going to do it anyway. So it's definitely a lot of fun. And Christmas is my favorite time of year. And I think for this year, we want to have Christmas decorated, all done by Thanksgiving, because the day after, I will be going to Kansas City and decorate 7 houses for Christmas up there. It's something I've done for over 20 years. But the villages I've been doing for almost 40 years. And just like you've said, you've been doing
since the mid-90s, yeah.
Yeah. It's just a lot of fun. You're not seeing villages out on the market. People aren't really going to this extent for Christmas. However, Pottery Barn does have their version of a village, which are gingerbread houses. I think it'd be really fun. I think they should send me a set so that I could doll it up with white trees and brown trees, and or you'll see the solid white for that big farmhouse look. So there's no reason for anybody to be left out of doing a village. I grew up with a village. My father always set it up, and Mom was too busy with 10 kids. So my dad got to do all the fun Christmas stuff. Anyway, any questions? I mean, your Cody Foster is completely different. Like I said, these are ceramic. Some pieces are porcelain, but
I do know, like, your village was based off the original Putz houses from the 40s and 50s, okay. And Department 56. Most of these over the years got smashed or thrown in the trash or what have you. So, what was it? 1985.
Yes.
They started to produce the Snow Village, and then they're still producing them today.
Well, in Snow Village, these are Snow Village, and some of these are from 1985. This was actually part of my mother's collection, and I got it when, actually before she passed, she started liquidating stuff, giving each child what she wanted them to have. I was fortunate enough to get the village, which I love because all of mine are the small Dickens and New England cottages. They're smaller scale than this, and they fit above my kitchen cabinets. So yes, my village spills over to above the cabinets, into a buffet you can do these in a bookcase, you can do them on a mantle. I've even seen it done as a centerpiece, down your dining table. There's just a lot of different options. You just have to become creative with it. Like I said, it's Christmas for me. And even though we don't have children, we always do a big party. This is our Christmas. Setting up the tree, setting up the village, putting it all together, and then just being able to enjoy it. until after Christmas. And then the real work happens when you have to take it all down. But I still have original boxes for 99% of everything that I have. And I think I already said that each house comes with its own individual light. But because I have so many, I was fortunate to find these 6-strand sets, which has really helped a lot. Oh, I could even stick that in there. Makes it much easier when you're down putting all these houses together, which I think we have a picture of. I don't know if they've shown. I've showed the tree with the village underneath. And then there's 2 different pictures of part of the village. And it's condensed. I do it pretty tight because, again, there are so many. But I do have the people. I have little street lights, all kinds of accessories. Just a fun, allows me to be a child, I guess. So anyway, we are going to take a little break. And when we come back, Bill is going to do his village. Now, I don't know that you can see any of these lights on because it's so bright in here. But anyway, we're going to take a break. Welcome back. I am here with Bill Cook, and again, we are talking about Christmas. I've just finished doing a Department 56 sample of Christmas Village, and Bill is going to do Cody Foster, which I love Cody Foster. Like I said, if I could liquidate all of mine and do Cody Foster's, I would in a heartbeat. They're soft colors. You know, it's totally different.
Right.
Yeah.
And it goes back to, these are reproductions from the ones from the 40s and the 50s and the 60s. Again, most of them got destroyed over the years, and if you still got them, hang on to them and definitely use them. So anyway, I'm going to start setting up this village here, and just to give you guys an idea of what we're going to do. So,
Is that the tower?
That
reminds
is
me of
the
the
tower.
water tower in Chicago.
And my village has lots of churches. I don't know how that happened, but I like all the towers. I'm going to be putting the smaller ones because they come in various sizes up towards the front. That way, I think it's just going to give a better visual impact. Another little church down here. And I've got another church because I went a little crazy with churches.
That's okay.
And I've got a few more little guys here we'll just put up around the front.
Okay.
And then, again, mine's a lot more simplistic than Susan's, but I like the variation. Oh, I've got these guys back here.
Yeah, they love these.
So here's one, you can see Santa Claus up here on the top of the roof waving out at everybody. You gotta have Santa Claus. And let's see, if there's room for this guy.
Stick
actually.
him.
We'll stick this guy here and this guy right up here. And then generally, so my house here in Bella Vista is quite a bit smaller from where I moved from, so I don't put mine under the tree anymore. I just don't have room here at the house, but I do put them up in the kitchen above the cupboards. And mine are lightweight. They're just made out of cardboard and pretty much glitter. And so it's pretty easy to get them up there. Another neat place would be on your fireplace mantle. I haven't done that here in Bella Vista. I've thought about it. So, but like Susan said, these little villages, and you may have inherited a collection and you don't put them out because it is a lot of work. But I would recommend bringing out some. Don't be so quick to get rid of them because everything cycles and villages will be back in at some point.
It's kind of the same thing with China. You know, if you've got good china,
Yeah,
people don't want to use it every day. Use it. What do you can't take
Yeah.
it with you.
Even if you break it
Well-
at this point, if you're not using it
And young people are not necessarily interested.
right.
Oh, yeah.
But everything
here we
cycles
go.
around, so.
It does. You've got some beautiful trees.
So this is what kind of sets my village apart is these bottle brush trees. And it just really adds to the village once you start filling them in here and there. There's no rhyme or reason. I didn't think this through. And every year I just kind of do the same thing. I just start putting them up, and wherever they fit, they fit.
I think like everything, if it's pleasing to your eye, you know, you set it up, you stand back, you take a look, you adjust, and then you add some more.
Yeah.
Oh, now that's a fun tree.
Yeah, he's different than a lot of the others. Yeah, we'll just stick him here. But again, there's no right or wrong way to doing these villages.
I think you have more trees than houses.
I do have a
But
lot more
that's
trees than
typical.
houses, so.
I do too.
Of course, I have more houses back at my house here in town,
Yeah.
but I figured this would be a good just way to kind of showcase.
We'd have to take up the whole studio if we did
That's
all of our
right.
houses. We would not have enough room.
But yeah, don't be, I don't know what kind of village, if you do have a village at home, but don't be shy and get them out, use them. It's only once a year.
Okay, I can tell that you've worked in a store.
Why is
Just
that?
pack it in.
You got to pack it in. So
That's right.
I'm going
You
to
gotta
make.
show that
I'm going to
product.
make the most of all the room I've got. So
Well, you can't sell it if it's not out.
right. Oops.
Oh, this little guy. The other thing I like about bottle brush trees, you can kind of bend them a little to straighten them.
There's been a few years I haven't put up the village. I've just put up the trees and done like a display with the trees.
So in how you've collected these, were a lot of them gifts, or did you just go out and buy them all?
No, so I actually I'm a sales rep for multiple lines, but I actually started in the industry. I went to work for a company in St. Louis, and I was there a few months, and Robert, the owner, said, "We're taking you to market." I had no idea what market was, and we made a trip up to Chicago, and that's where all these stores that we all shop get their merchandise from. And they had about 32 stores in the St. Louis area at the time.
Wow.
And I got moved up real quick to being the Christmas buyer. But I always said, what an awesome job. You get to spend other people's money and have fun doing it. And who doesn't love Christmas? So.
Yeah, Chris, it's the best time of year.
So I
the most
make
work.
I
That's cute.
yeah, with a little. So I make use of every bit of space I've got. So
Yeah. We should have raised up Santa Claus, but that's okay.
oh, yeah, he's kind of hiding down there. But
Yeah.
at home, I'd probably raise him up where he could be seen.
Okay,
so.
now that's an interesting tree. I've not seen one like that before.
Oh, and then I probably ran out of room here on the table, but I have some of these deer too.
Oh, wow.
So as a kid, we always had the deer marching through the woods too. But again, there's no right or wrong to any of this. Just whatever looks best to you.
Oh, cool. I really don't have any animals with my villages. I have all people, sleighs, Santa Claus, trees, street lights.
So, whoops. I like Susan's idea, how she plugs hers, you put those tacks into your tree so they
Oh,
don't
yeah,
tumble over, but
I know. And I do it on mostly the trees, but also, like I said, I have little strings of street lights, and I put it on the bottom of each street light and tack it in
okay.
to the
yeah,
styrofoam. And, then they stay. Fortunately, no children come and visit us, so there are no little fingers playing in the village.
Anyway, so there's just a real basic, quick demonstration. I can't really see it. Come stand out there where you all are at. But I'd probably mess with it and play with it until I really, really liked it.
Yeah, it's like I said, I love the look of the Cody Foster because they're all pastel. And obviously, traditional green and red this year, which I'm not always. A lot of the times I do white and mercury glass. But this village would look great with white mercury glass.
Well, I had a friend say to me, he says, well, I've never seen pink and these colors for Christmas. It didn't make any sense to him. And I said, well, you're looking at it wrong. I said, blizzards come through and coated everything with snow, so that's not really technically the colors. It's all frosted over. So.
That's a good way to put it. I know this year I wanted to do peach colors, ornaments and everything, and ribbon, and I thought, I don't want to spend the money.
Yeah.
I mean, but I love that peach and that soft seafoam. Bill and I went to a couple different open houses recently, one in Springfield, Missouri, that he had beautiful Cody Foster houses.
Yeah.
And, all the pastel trees and ornaments hanging.
And what Susan
was a
means
great
by
display.
Cody Foster is a manufacturer that is still producing these, vintage-inspired pieces. Again, because so many were lost over the years. Now, I have a few left that were under the tree when I was a kid, and I've got a picture of my mom as a little girl, and with hers all under the Christmas tree, and I bet many of you do too. They're still stamped on the bottom like 5 and 10 cents from the 5 and dime stores. But it's just something and that's why I started collecting these, because it reminded me when I was a kid, and we lost so many of the houses over the years that got destroyed because they're cardboard, and the stuff doesn't last forever.
It doesn't, and like I said, I really like it, and I'm sure it was probably Cody Foster's, because our village was the cardboard houses
Right.
growing up. And having a village to me is more about the nostalgia and what real Christmas is all about.
Yeah.
I mean, well, we know there's more than that, but it's just a reminder of, the beautiful things that you can have, and not just gift giving and all of that good stuff.
One of the other fun things too is with the village, when Christmas comes and goes, a lot of people start taking everything down immediately, but in January, that's when it gets really cold. So I like to leave the village up through the winter months, and then, spring comes, it's time for it to go. But that way, it all doesn't have to come down, and still gives a little warmth to the house.
Yeah. Well, we have a couple visitors here today, other than just you and me. Our little friend Santa Claus back here. There's actually 2 of them. We have Mr. Santa with a martini and popcorn in a movie. Who doesn't like that? Isn't that the big thing, like New Year's Day or Christmas Day? Everybody wants to watch a movie. So I had to bring them along. Just other funds, Christmas is collections. I mean,
Right.
people have collections year round, but the villages, the Santas,
Ornaments.
oh yeah, a lot of, I know we've talked about Christopher Radko and
Shiny Bright. A lot of people are collecting the old Shiny Brights, which goes perfect with this.
And you remember the Anna Lee dolls, the stuffed?
Yeah.
That was another big collectible. And then the Byers carolers with the big mouths.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think this is one of my favorite things about Christmas is the collectibles. And they just come out once a year, so you don't get tired of them. You don't have to dust them.
You don't have to
You
do it
just-
every year.
No,
You
you
can-
don't if you don't want to. And I can't remember a year that I haven't, though,
Yeah.
since 1985.
I've known Susan about 3 years, and I look forward every year to going over and seeing her village. It's I don't know, it's something to see. So, but they've thought the whole process out from building it from the ground up.
Yeah.
And
Well, my husband built this big platform and drilled holes in it, and the tree goes on top of that. So the tree has to be decorated first. Then I start putting down the little paper pieces and the lights. But the wires, I fish through these holes, and underneath are all these crisscrosses, again with holes in them. So I have to get down and put them under, back to the surge protector. So, it is quite a process. And
but it's like
Upstate-
stepping into a department store, and how elaborate the old department stores used to be. It's really something.
well, and I separate it by, underneath the tree is mainly Dickens and New England cottages, but above my Christmas cabinet my cabinets are Dickens and New England, but above the refrigerator and the pantry are where I have all the Snow Village. Those are smaller spaces. The pieces are a lot larger. And again, I have little surge protectors so I can plug them in. The other thing that's really cool about the cords that come with your village pieces, they can plug into each other. And you can plug in up to 4 into one. Not any more than that. And they're not real high watt, but again, makes it easy, again, so that you can hide all your wires. You could take them together and take a twist tie around to tighten them up, and so that they're not seen.
Right.
So, and if this were above a cabinet or somewhere, I would put snow and trees all across the back. So you don't just see the wall.
That's right.
And again, just little tricks when you're putting these things together. And, and the variety of trees. There shouldn't be any leaves on this, but then it wouldn't make any sense.
That's right.
Okay, well, I want to thank everyone for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I will see you again, not till the end of December, and perhaps we'll talk about New Year's. So thank you, and if you do watch, like and subscribe. It does help us to expand our programming. So bye.
Bye.